Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura Stranks. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and welcome to my YouTube video this morning. I'm just going to, I've prepped a lot of my stuff for today, so because this is quite a in-depth box to do. These are the ones I've done previously. I did these quite a while ago. Some of them, they're the retired DSP. This is the current one I did. And today I'm going to do a Christmas theme one that's from the Cottage Wreath dies and the DSP, which is the Boughs of Holly DSP. As you can see, I've cut lots of it up in here. It's very nice paper. I'm a traditional red and green type person for Christmas, so I've pretty much only bought red and green. Just before I start, I just want to mention a couple of things. My Facebook page, if you want to go on and have a look, all the tutorials for my cards and boxes are on my Cards by Laura. I've got lots and lots of other cards on there. I'm doing some Christmas cards at the moment, so if anyone interested in buying Christmas cards, just message me through the Cards by Laura Facebook page. And also I have Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. This is where I put all my instructions and PDF and photos of all my videos that I do on YouTube. I go live every Monday at 9 AM. So if you're interested in watching, please tune in. I'd love to see you on there. That's all the technical side of it. We'll get started. I am going to take a photo partway through this of the layout that I've got. I've done most of the pieces, but there's just one more I need to take a photo so I can put it on the PDF when I could do it. It just shows you where to do your cut lines. I haven't showed you inside the boxes yet. This is the special bit. I forgot all about that. And so it opens up like this. It's quite a roomy size box. It's 4x4 and it's 2 inches deep. So you can fit lots in there for Christmas, even if you fill it up with chocolates and a little bit of stripped up cellophane to fill it up. They've all got the same type of lining in. That one I've decorated the bottom. I stamped those and coloured them. There is a way, and I'll explain it when I get to it. I have done it with the cardstock as the base, as the mats, and I've got the DSP over the top. You can do it the reverse and do your DSP as your mat and then put cardstock over the top, but I prefer it this way because it's a lot more, got the wow factor. This one here is in the green. This is a current DSP. And that's in the green. I've just put a piece of DSP in the base of that. I'm mixing up my papers today. I've got a couple of different ones out of that Boughs of Holly DSP pack, and that's a retired one as well with the pink. That's polished pink, that paper. So that's all the boxes. I'll put them aside because there's not a lot of room here to put them all. And I've got my camera ready for when I take a photo later. Now, as I mentioned, I'm using the Cottage Wreath dies for my decoration for the top only. I did use the Merry Christmas, a little tiny Merry Christmas here that fits inside the wreath here. So it's a nice little size. I think there's a few greetings on there that fit inside the wreath. And I like wreaths on cards, so that's the one I've used. Now I'll go through each piece first. Normally I just do it as I go. This is my base, and I've put all these pieces on already, but it's easy enough to follow, and I'll show you the cutting lines in a sec. My base measures 8x8, and I scored it. I've already scored at 2 inches on all 4 sides. So you just go 2, turn, 2, turn, 2, and turn, and so you do all 4 sides. I'll show you how to cut in a sec. I've also put my tear and tape on the tabs here. the mats on these are basic white. On all the other boxes, I didn't do a mat here, but because I had the red DSP, I wanted to sort of make it pop, so I put a white mat around. So if you want just DSP, do your DSP the size of this mat, which is 3 3/4 by 1 3/4, and you need 4 of those, but I've got mine in the white. And then the DSP on top is just the 1/4 inch smaller, which gives you the border around. So that's 3.5 by 1.5. That's those. So I'll take those off. We're going to cut that shortly. And then I've decorated inside the box with a DSP as well. And it measures 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And I've already stuck that on. We'll get to that one in a minute. Then my lid, I've scored this as well, and I'll show you after how to cut it. That's my decoration piece. I've already put my dimensionals on the back. It's just a couple of layers of the wreath die, the leaves out of the wreath set, the little berries on the top, and the bow. The bow comes out really pretty. I don't know if you can see, there's cut details in the bow, and it's really, really nice the way it's laid out. And then I've put the red rhinestone basic jewels on top of that. That's my little Merry Christmas in the centre. I've cut the white circle out of the new dies. There's circles, squares, and some label ones. Stylish Shapes, I think it's called. That one. Now the mats for the top. The lid mat here is basic white, and it's 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So that'll go to the bottom. I haven't stuck these together yet. The DSP is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and that will just go on the top of that, and then the little decoration on the top. And now this piece is 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. It's 1/8 of an inch bigger to allow it to go over the top of the base. Gives you a little bit extra room so it's not too tight. And then I've scored it at 1 and 2 inches on all 4 sides. So you just go 1 and 2, turn, score 1 and 2, turn, and the 4 sides all even. Then the DSP, which I haven't put mats on here, I could have, but I've got pretty much a lot of white on there anyway, so it wouldn't matter. They're 3 7/8 by 3/4 of an inch, and there's 4 of those, and they go on that side. There's nothing on the other side of that, and I'll show you in a little minute how to put that together. We can leave those aside, and we shall put this over here. When I cut this lid piece and get it all together, I will just take a photo before I put the sides up. So then I've got a photo to put on my PDF. Normally I do a sample one. So we'll put that bit aside. That'll come in a sec. We'll do the base first, then the lid, and then we'll do this. Now this is, I've already done this, and I'm going to do another one in another colour because I'm going to make another box later. I'll show you how to do this fold. It's called a napkin fold. It measures 8 by 8, I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, I've got the other bit over here. I'm going to do a green one in the next one. So it measures 8 by 8, and I'll go through all the scoring on that as soon as I've given you these. The DSP on the napkin, there's 4 pieces of 2.5 by 2.5. That's these, and I've still got one to cut, one of each to cut. So I'll show you how to cut those when we get to them. They measure 2.5 by 2.5, and there's 4 of, and you cut each one in half on the diagonal, and that's these bigger pieces in here. I've still got this one to do, so we'll cut that in a sec. And then this napkin is the smaller pieces. They measure 1 5/8 by 1 5/8, and there's 8 of those, and you're going to cut them in half as well, and that gives you 16 pieces. You cut on the diagonal, and I've still got one to cut, so I'll show you how to do those when we get to it. But we shall put the base together first. Now I've already scored this, but I haven't cut it yet. So we shall just go, and I've put when you do your tear and tape, once you put your mats and all on, the tear and tape goes on the side where the DSP and the mats are. I started to put it on this side this morning and realised I was on the wrong side, but it won't matter because it's going to get covered up anyway. It's not on the side where your piece is in the centre. So we're just going to cut up these, and I'm going to cut this way. I want my DSP on the fold here, so I'm going to cut up this here to the first score line, just to there. And then I'm going to just notch that a fine bit. Notching helps it fit in nicely. I'll just get a cup out to put all my scraps in. I always have a little bucket here so it doesn't make a mess all over my desk, and then I can just tip it straight in my bin. On both sides of your tab, you're going to notch out a little piece, and then you're just going to go across to this side, cut up, and do a little notch. You only need to do the notch on the tabs itself, not on the solid piece that's the side of your box. And this is the base. Straighten that a little bit. Turn it around 180 and go up and notch your tab. I haven't burnished this yet or folded it. I prefer to do that after I've done my cuts most of the time. Sometimes I do it fold and burnish first, but the bulk of the time I do it after I've cut it. So then we're just going to fold all these inwards and burnish. Trying to keep up in camera. My last video, I think I was down a bit too far and you couldn't see what I was doing. But I'm getting there. I only started these videos this year. I've done about 8 or so now, I think. So getting a little bit more confident as I go. I haven't got my intro notes anymore that I used to read out. So all of these will just come inwards to form the base. And I'll show you, we're going to put all this together, and then where's one of my samples? I'll show you one of these. The other part that I showed you with all the little pieces on, it gets put down inside here. I'll show you how that works when we get to it. That's another step. I didn't need to take a photo of this because I've already done this one. Although I will, because I don't think I did the cut lines on that. So just excuse me for 1 second while I just do a photo. It'll only take me half a sec. All done. That's so you can see on the PDF where if you don't want to watch the video again, it'll show you on the PDF where to cut. I'll just take all of these bits off. I'll just do 2 at a time on the corners. You can run your bone folder over your tear and tape so it makes it nice and stuck down. And I'm way off camera there. Make sure it's nice and flush with that fold on the sides. And the same on this side. I only do 2 sides at a time with the tear and tape because while it's flipping down here, it could easily get stuck somewhere where it's not supposed to go. So we'll just get these off. I'm one to not, I don't like, when I watch videos, I get a little bit bored if someone keeps talking on about other stuff and not doing the project. So I've learnt from, and I've watched videos for years now. I've been a demonstrator. I'm at Silver Elite at the moment. I'm hoping to stay there. And I've been a demonstrator for, it'll be 7 years, coming up January next year. So it's about 6.5 years. And yes, it just annoys me to have to listen to someone talking about stuff that I don't really want to know. Some of them are okay, they're quite good, but the bulk of the time I just like to get onto the project. So that's that. You won't see, it's got the DSP in the bottom, and you won't see these bits in here once we get the insert in. I'll just have a mouthful of water. Always, I'm fine in the morning, and then as soon as I start talking and doing a video, I get a croaky voice. So we'll do the lid next. We'll leave that complicated bit till last. So I've already scored this. As I said before, it's scored at, I've lost my bit of paper now and I haven't got it handy, but I've given you the measurements. I think it was, what do I measure for you? Yeah, 1 and 2 inches on all 4 sides. So we'll just cut up. Now, the idea is, and I'll get my pencil and show you, you're just going to take off the 3 outside little squares, and this one here will be your tab. So you're going to take off those 3, and this one here will create a tab. And I find the easiest way to do it is cut up that score line to the second score line, cut up the second one to the center score line, take off the 2 outside squares there, and just half of the second square, and that gives you that little tab like that, and you've got these 3 taken off, those 2 and that 1. So that's what each corner will look like. Now I go straight across from there to there. I don't go just turn all the way around. So I'm going to do the same here, up this score line to the second score line, or the inside score line, and the same with this one, up there. Take off the 2 outside ones. You can put all those in the scrap dish. And half of this one. I'll go back and notch them in a sec. Then you're going to turn it around the other side and do the same on this side. Go from here to here. So up 2 score lines, past the first one to the second one, up this one. These scissors are nice. I have a lot of my stuff packed away for an event I've got on the weekend. By the time you see this video, the event will be over. So I packed a lot of my stuff up, and then I realised, oh, better get a spare set out to do my video this morning. And then take half of that one off. Same over here for the 4th side. This is a standard, this is called a reinforced lid. You can do a standard lid, which is the same as your base, and you can make it just a bit shorter so you see the colour of your base. But this one here is a reinforced lid, and it's so much stronger than just a normal lid. So that's what and that's what I'm going to take a photo of. That's what your lid will look like once it's all cut. I haven't done the notching, but that's fine. We'll do that in a sec. I'll just take a quick photo of that so it's for you on the PDF. Now your notching is exactly the same, and you're just going to notch your tabs, and I will notch the outside of this because it's going to get folded in. So we'll do all these first, once off the tab, and then just to that first score line on the longer piece. Same with this, to that first score line notch. Only because it's going to get tucked down inside, and you want a little smidge of a piece off so it'll go in neatly without bending backwards. I'll do all of these outside ones and all of the tabs. I was going to do some of this beforehand, but I like to show you how it works, so you've got a good idea of what to do. And then I will fold all my score lines. I find it easy to cut along a score line before it's folded. Everyone has their own way of doing things, so that's fine, whatever suits you. And I think I've done that one. Yes, I have. I need a little smidge off that one. I'm not sure if I did it. I can't tell. And that's it. That one there is not done. You can usually see it by the angle of it, whether it's done or not. So that's how that will look. Get rid of all that. So that's that. Now all we're going to do is put, we're going to put tear and tape on these little tabs, but I'll also show you where the tear and tape goes to hold the insides down. Actually, we can do Tombow on the inside bits. Now I'm going to get, because there's so many bits to put on this, I use the lid of my Tombow. I've got the tear and tape in my right hand because I'm right-handed, and I just go along and do that. Slide the lid along the tear and tape, and that secures it down. Hold that firmly and just give it a flick. It's much quicker than picking your scissors up and down. I've shown people a few times before with this little trick. You can use either end of your Tombow. Much quicker than using your scissors. And I don't just freehand tear it. I can never seem to get it straight, and also it seems to pull the cardstock as well. So that's all we need there, and I'm going to just use no, I will put tear and tape just to make it nice and secure. I'll show you where it goes. So you flip it over, and you're going to put it on the very outside edge of each of these longest sections. You can put Tombow in here because it's going to get folded inwards, but I do like my tear and tape for boxes. It's much more secure. Not that it's going to come apart. Pretty sure it won't. If you need a bit of wiggle room on something, fair enough, use your Tombow if you're lining up DSP onto a mat. But for 3D and boxes, I prefer the tear and tape. Right, so we shall do these little tabs first. Keep that handy, don't put it away. I had my pick tool the last video, I had my pick tool out and I put it aside, and do you think I could find it to use it the next time? And when I opened my eyes properly, there it was right in front of me. Usually when you lose something, I'm going to do all these four at once because they're only little ones. Even my pick tool's not my normal pick tool because the other one's packed away. So this here, which I didn't fold all my thing, but we can do those as we go. I forgot about that bit, getting ahead of myself. I'll just give those a quick fold. They don't need to be super folded. That's those. So then you're going to do the same as your lid, your base, and line it up nice and squarely on each corner. Same with that one. And you'll see how it's forming the lid in a sec. That one and that one. So that's those four. Then you can bend these backwards a bit. They're easier to get the DSP off. But not the DSP, the tear and tape off if you fold them backwards. And I'll just do one at a time. You could put some DSP in your lid if you want to. If I'm not going to with this one. And they just fold inwards like that. And that's secure down in there. And that's the beauty of notching. It's not going to catch in those corners as well. I did choose different DSP all the way over this box, but it's all red and white and green. So I just thought I'd try something different. All the others, the other 4 boxes I did are all the same DSP, and I didn't do any mattes on my base. So that's that, and we'll just double check. And because it was that 1/8 of an inch bigger, you can see it fits perfectly over the top without bowing the bottom. If you did it the same size, all these edges here would bow inwards, and you probably wouldn't get it on anyway. You'd need that little bit extra to make it fit. Now we can finish this top bit here. You could do this top bit while it's still out flat. It's up to you which way you want to do it. I think, I don't remember which way I decided to do that. I think I might use the, because that matches this. I think I'll do that. I thought I had it, I'm not sure which way I had it in my photo now, but that's okay. I'll do a photo after I'm finished recording and put it up on the PDF anyway. So this one's just got a tiny slim border around it. It's a 1/16 inch all the way around. And then this here, I've put dimensionals on the back. I can get these off with my nails. And I'll just center that in the middle of that. There's nothing else I don't think I'll put on that. That'll be just all of the decoration on the top. And then this I can just put on with Tombow. Just a little bit all the way around. And we'll center this on the top of the box. I like the little bit of white in between the reds. Makes it pop a little bit. Love that bow. So that's that part. That's the easy part. That was easy to do. I don't mind the couple of different DSPs. They all match up. Now, I shall show you from scratch how to do this piece. We're going to end up with this, and it's all just in the folding, and then a bit of cutting at the end. So what I've got, and I'm going to do a green one. I'll just tidy up that mess, and I'll take that off. So this piece, this is your insert or the napkin center fold. It measures 8 by 8, and you can fold it freehand, but I find I get a better fold if I score it first, just on the first scores. But first of all, we have to find the center of this. So what you need to do, and it's 8 by 8, so on each side you just need to mark a 4-inch mark. 1. I didn't do any of this before on this one because I wanted you to show you exactly how it's done. So just mark halfway on each side, and I'll show you when we get further along. This will explain why you need to find the center of your card stock. So that's all 4 sides. So then if you put your ruler across from each pencil line to the pencil line, and you don't need to draw a full line across, just go eyeball it from there and just put a mark there in the center. And the same with this side. We're just putting across in the center. That looks crooked, but it's because I'm sitting crooked on the, I hope it's straight. Pretty sure it's straight. I always doubt myself after a while. There to there. And that's the other line. Oh, it's way over there. What have I done? I'll take that off. We'll start from this side. Needs to be over here. 4x4. That's better. So that's the centre of my cardstock, if you can see that little cross in the centre. Now what we're going to do is score, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches on all 4 sides. And it doesn't have to be a really heavy score, it's just enough to give you something to fold on. Just lightly score it. I find it gives you a better fold. You can freehand fold, but because it's cardstock, if you do this in DSP, I have seen some where they use DSP. It's an easy freehand fold without scoring, but for cardstock I find I get a better fold. So I score just these first 4 score lines. Okay, that's all we need the scorer for. So then you can fold on these, and they should end up across on that centre pencil line. And you can give them a good fold. Same with that one. Make sure your edges are nice and even along the sides. And the next bit's not tricky, but because it's not, there's no fold there, it's a little, you've just got to maneuver it a little bit. So we're going to fold each corner inwards to this centre cross here, the pencil cross, and it should fold across where those 2 score lines cross each other. It should fold in there. So if you put your bone folder there and give it a start, and then bring it into that, the point of your outside point should come into that cross, and then just run your fingers across to get it started, and then we'll burnish that. That one can go back out. That will fold to there. Just try not to press it too much until you've got it in place, and just hold it there firmly and bring each corner inwards. Nice and straight. Give it a press. It's a little bit harder with the cardstock. If you're using DSP, it's much easier. But I find if you use DSP, then you need just a plain cardstock for all those little squares, little triangles that you're going to put on it. So that's that. So you should end up with like that, a bit like folding a handkerchief. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go back onto these this way. So fold it out flat again. Fold these where you've done your 2-inch score lines to start with. Just fold one in like that. Hold this point here and this point here, and just maneuver this so this will come up into a mountain, that straight line there. Just bring that across and down. Then you can burnish that there. Fold it out flat again, do the other side. So hold your finger just on that where the 2 lines meet, or at the cross there. Hold this point here on the outside of that, bring it across and down. And you're just going to do that on all 4 sides. Fold it out flat to start, and it's much easier. So hold that there, keep it flat and bring it in. Just make sure it meets this outside edge. You just need to maneuver your cardstock a little bit to make it even. Fold it out, bring this across. Once you do a couple, you'll get the hang of it. You just need that extra fold now. So bring that inwards, burnish that. Bring this one inwards, just pushing it down so it's nice and even on the edges. Burnish everything as you go. And I think we've already done, yeah, we did that one. Oh no, we haven't. I don't remember. No, I don't think it is. It's not flat yet. So that's those. Now, if you get, this is just a little bit of a play around. You can sort of maneuver this. If you pull, how did she do it? Pull these inwards, these and these. They're all coming inwards. If you pull those, just keep playing around. It's going to go back into the shape that you had before. So all of those point pieces here on the halfway mark on each side, they will come in. If you pull those all in, that's the easiest way to do it, and then push it down flat, and you end up with another smaller square. That's a little bit flapping over there. This is not the one I'm going to use today. I've done the red one, so we'll get to that in a sec. So that was easy enough. All your points in here, once it's out flat, bring all these points up, and then it will just push in by itself and go flat. I think that's pretty easy to do. Every time you watch it, you find an easier way to do it. So we'll leave that in like that. Then the last piece, you're going to take this point, all these points from the center, and fold them back on themselves to the outside point and burnish that. They can stay like that then. So get your inside point, bring it out to the outside corner and burnish. Leaving it folded flat, point from the center. Just maneuver your cardstock as you go and it'll fold itself eventually. And the last one, fold it to the outside edge. If you want to, I would highly recommend you get a piece of just copy paper first and practice with that, just the folds. You'll find it much easier on the copy paper, and then even if you just get a piece of generic cardstock, another different sort of cardstock that you're not your good cardstock, and do all of that with your good cardstock. So then when it goes in, there's another step to do yet with cutting. So when you pull it, it'll come like that. I am going to rub out. I didn't bring out my good rubber, and this one's making a mark, so we might. Oh, you won't see it anyway. Once I do it, because it's going to get cut in here. Actually, I won't rub it out too much because I need to see that line for a sec. Now, you do need a cutting mat. You don't want to go cutting on your good mat. And I have this one that I bought years and years ago. And you need a metal ruler and just a cutting blade, like a Stanley knife blade. You can buy these anywhere. Spotlight sell them, I think even Kmart and those, you can buy them. So and you do need a metal ruler, because a plastic ruler, if you hit the edge of it, you're going to cut the edge off your ruler. So I'm going to cut from that point there on the diagonal to this point here on both sides and through that center. If you do from the score to the score, it's automatically going to go through that pencil line if you've already rubbed it out. So, and hold your ruler down firmly so it doesn't slip. Be careful you don't cut yourself. And push down and cut straight across to the outside, to there. And then the same to the other corners. Cut from there to there on the points. That's the idea of having a cutting mat underneath. Make sure you hold your ruler firmly so your fingers go purple while you're cutting. If it slips, you'll muck up all your folding and you won't have it there. So you'll end up with that. And then if we fold all these back in, and then your cuts at the bottom, and I'll show you how they go. So that's what I've done so far on my other one. So we'll put that one aside, and here's one I've prepared earlier. So all these pieces, now this one here, these are 2.5 by 2.5, and I had 4 of them, which I've already put on. I've left one to cut, and I'm cutting this last one at on the diagonal from corner to corner. So if you put that now when you cut DSP on a corner, I always start my blade in the center, put the point there in your track and the point here in your track, hold it firmly and start the blade in the center. If you start from your point, I think that moved a fraction. If you start from your corner, it could easily drag and just go like that. So that's the 4th one of those. And then the other little one, this is smaller to start with, and it does the other corners. It's 1 5/8 by 1 5/8, and I had 8 of these, which cut in half will give me 16 pieces, and it's exactly the same, just cut from corner to corner. Hold that there, and I need my blade. I know it'll drag, so I'm going to pick that up, put the blade in the center, and then hold it just like so. Still dragged a little bit when I brought it backwards, but nowhere near as if you start there, it'll just pull it. So that's the last of the 8 pieces, and they will go, I'll show you where they go. So the 4 bigger ones, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they will go, well, it's obvious they go on the bigger sections in here. So I'll just use a bit of Tombow on these. I'll move that other mat out of the road. And we'll just put some Tombow on this lot. Try and get into the corners a little bit if you can, so they don't lift. Doesn't need a lot. So that one will go on there. This is the last 2 of these ones. I didn't think you needed to watch me glue all those little bits. It does take a little while to do them. And this one will go on here in the 2 blank spots. I didn't mind this pattern. I don't know if I'd do a card in this pattern because it's a bit blotchy for me, but it looked quite nice on this box. It's quite effective. So that's those pieces. And then these little triangles, they're all on these outside section pieces, and I've still got this one and that one to do after doing all the others. I thought if I didn't do some beforehand, it would take me forever to do the video. Most of my videos I do around between 30 and 40 minutes, so it's not too long. But if I did this from scratch in front of you, it'll probably be over an hour because it took a little while to prep everything. I usually prep my decoration pieces beforehand on most of the stuff I do, but this one I've done a little bit extra. That's the last one in there, and that's how that will look. Now you just need the base of your box, and as you will see, these will just glue down inside there, and that will give you that. So I'm just going to do one first. Actually, I'll show you. I'll do one and then I'll bring the others up. There was a couple of different ways I did this, but I'll just try this way first. Get one in first so you know it's nice and square in there. And I would suggest Tombow because you need a bit of wiggle room. So just slide that one in there. Line it up so the score line is just above the edge of your box, so it will fold over the edge of your box, and give it a good press down in there and get one secured in there to start with. That way it's not going to keep coming out on you if you're trying to do all four at once. So that's one in. Now the rest of them, make sure I got that in the corners, yes. The rest of them you can put glue on all of these. Actually, I might just do one by itself again on the other side, just to be on the safe side. I don't want it, after going to all this trouble, I don't want it mucked up. So that one will just fold in there. They should all come in together by themselves now. Just double check that you've got, make sure it's just below that score line, because that score line is your hinge over the top of the box. And then we'll do these last two together. And that decorates the inside of your box as well. And it gives you that nice little napkin fold. It's a bit of a wow when you open the box. So these two can go straight down. They should automatically fit into place. I'll give them a bit of a, with my bone folder. Much easier to decorate everything first before, well, you wouldn't try putting all these bits on after. Just push all these down so they're nice and secure. That one can come up, push it down. Might have needed a little bit more glue, I'm not sure. You can be a little bit generous with the glue in there so it doesn't come unstuck. And they're all good. So that's how it sits. And then when you push it all back in, remember, push these in and these in together. And hold your nose right. And it will sit like that. Then you can put that on top. Once it's been on top a few times, it'll automatically hold itself. And that's my little Christmas box. I love that paper. So that pops up. Mine, I think, have been there for quite a while. I probably didn't burnish them enough to hold them down, but I don't mind if it pops up when you open the box. It's like a pop-up insert. And that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you give it a go. It's been around for a little while. I haven't seen any done for quite a while. I can't even remember where I got the idea from a while ago. But I might make a few. The green one that I did as the sample, I'm going to make it into a green box and put a bit of, do the reverse sort of colours. I might even try a different DSP, and that's a couple of the others. We won't put them all up. I'll put my favourite ones up. So that's the boxes. I hope you liked that today, and I hope I didn't burble on too much. Please give it a go, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And if you hit the little bell, you'll get notified when I go live. My videos go up every Monday morning at 9 AM, so I hope to catch a few of you then. And I'll talk to you later. Have a lovely day. Bye.